Chris Fade and Caroline Stanbury's Not So Epic podcast.
Brought to you by NMC Healthcare and Cosmesurge. Head to cosmesurge.com.
Well, we're back.
And look how we're back. How funny is this? I mean, a virtual podcast.
I know. Who would have thought that it was going to be like this? I mean, I don't know, a couple of months ago, everything was just normal, and now we're social distancing, we're staying at home. It's Chris Fade, Caroline Stanbury, as we do it, our podcast, that is. We've never done it like this.
Like houses. But you know, the funny thing is, when we first started discussing whether we should do this like this, we're like, no, it'll be a couple of weeks and we'll be back on. Don't worry, we'll just play reruns. And now we're fully into it. There seems to be no end to this. Like no end. So this is our new normal. I know. Miss going out, I have to be honest.
What was that?
I don't miss going out.
Yeah, like it's interesting because I mean, you know me, I'm a
never went out anyway, so this is the dream come true for you.
It's right. I'm a homebody, so you know, obviously wanting to go to the malls and just doing what we would usually do. I mean, you know, we're going to talk about this throughout this podcast, but how it's sort of changed our lives. Because without knowing, I don't know about you, but have we not all appreciated the basics in life again?
What would those be, Chris?
No, like I'm saying, like I honestly miss just hanging out. I mean, hanging out with you, being able to say hello to you, give you a hug, going to get a shave. I haven't had a shave.
I'm fine without the hug. But well, let's talk about the shave actually, because this is for people that haven't seen him. He actually did do this whole thing about shaving off his beard, which actually I was like, oh my God, what's all the hoo-ha about? He's done this whole countdown to it, and like, who really gives a shit? But when I saw it, I was like, actually, it's a whole new human. It was so weird. I barely recognize it's a whole new human. I mean,
you see?
You do look quite sexy and you do look younger. Gotta be honest, Chris.
Do I not look? Yeah, I mean, I felt, you know what's crazy? You wouldn't really know this, obviously, because you don't have, or maybe you do have some facial hair. I don't know how it goes. I've got like...
Give me enough weeks, I've got a shadow.
But I hadn't seen literally my cheeks or my skin under it for maybe 8 or 9 years, right? So I did it, and I was in my head, I was like, I wonder how my skin's gonna look like. Will it look older? Will it look the same? Man, it looked the same as if I was 25 years old. I was freaking out.
Baby skin. It was so weird. First day I wasn't sure, and then it really grew on me. But like you really do look young and handsome. But not that you don't with this. I do like this. It's just, it's more of a, you get away with it. You get away with it. It's just, I guess I understand this is your whole vibe here and everybody knows you like this. But I mean, it was fun. What did Brianna?
Brianna wanted me to have the beard. I mean, she likes it. She doesn't like it completely shaved, but she doesn't mind a little bit of growth. But she doesn't, I don't know. But like, I don't know. This came back. This is 2 weeks after I shaved. So
you guys meant to be getting married at the end of this year.
Well, that's what we're going to do. I don't know if it's happening.
I don't know if it's happening either. Gotta be honest. I just cancelled all my flights. I've cancelled the house I rented with 10 friends this summer. Just cancelled it. I don't think we're going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're happy about this, Chris. Oh no, I'm going to lie in my back garden and no, you can't come over.
Oh, man, what do you mean? I was supposed to be in the Maldives 4 weeks ago. That got cancelled. I was supposed to travel somewhere else.
Chris, I'm turning 44 where are we? On the 28th. And now you're going to realize how old I am in a minute.
Okay, let's talk about what's going on. Obviously, coronavirus, COVID-19, it's affecting the entire world right now. You and I live here in Dubai. We live in the UAE, where I think we feel, I don't know about you, man, but I feel safer here than I do if I was back probably in Australia or the UK, man. I don't know. What are you feeling?
So lucky for so many reasons. I mean, the weather, if you've got a beautiful house or you're fortunate here, you know, obviously, I mean, compared to cities, we have big spaces. You have a beautiful garden and pool. I have a pool, you know, and that's not unnormal in Dubai, you know, like people live really well here. And, you know, so I look at my friends who are in London and they can't go out. And if you're stuck this many weeks on a balcony, how I would feel, you know, and the domestic violence has gone up. My friends, scary, we're going back to that. And then my friends in LA, you know, just like proper serious people at beautiful homes. They were like, the other day I was calling and they'd gone out to buy guns. I'm like, why are you buying guns? They said, you know, and I'm like, we've just got them off the street. And they said, because, you know, Caroline, desperate people do desperate things, and, you know, they have to be prepared. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't have that here.
No, I know. You know, we obviously watching the news a lot as well. I saw the domestic violence go up around the world, and you know, everywhere it's going up, and that really got to me. I just thought, I thought so. We'll talk about that. But the gun thing, I saw the guys in LA lining up for a gun, and I was like, what are they doing? Absolute fools. But then I put myself in their position, and I thought,
and you want to be ready if something happens. That's what my girlfriend said. She's like, look, I live alone with my daughter. And, you know, she lives above this sort of homeless shelter. And she's like, what if people come and there's no food and things like this?
Yeah.
And she's like, I need to be prepared. And she's right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know,
well, we are blessed to be here, obviously, in the UAE, because you're right. And you and I both got some decent places. So I'm just spending my time swimming around the pool and entertaining the kids. And now, I mean, how are you doing with home learning? Are you doing any of the schoolwork with the girls and the boys, or the girl boys?
I realize how stupid I am. I mean, yes, thank God Melissa moved in, because she has the brain and I do not. Not one that works like that. My brain doesn't work like that. She's sticking up for me over there, but it just doesn't work when I read it and it just goes, I have no idea. I can't do maths. I definitely can't do science. Melissa's taken it on like a challenge. Like she's like, woohoo, I remember all this. And she's like, she built them parachutes the other day, and like, it's hilarious. And I actually really enjoy it. But I just sit there and go, and then they realize how stupid I am. So,
well, yeah, that's so true, because the same with my girls. I had a question the other day going, if this triangle is the factor of 2, what would it be? And it gave me 3 examples. And I'm like, the factor of 2? What does that mean again? And there I am getting on Google.
Look, I'm having my iced coffee. This is what I live by the way. It's so funny, and they hate it, and they miss their school friends. Because I was thinking back, going, look how lucky you are.
So I'm having my pineapple. This is what I live for.
Not good.
So are you going crazy yet? Like, are you, I don't know, you're remaining sane, staying inside the house and everything?
Well, you know me, because I was always on a plane like every 10 days. So this is the first time I think I've done this length of time in years. So no, I'm not. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm living on my own now, which you probably know. So Jem's moved out and he's across the road. And it's really nice. So I get 3 days with the kids. So we're sort of getting that on. And we're learning the routine here. And I think that having us both home full time, the children are now getting into a rhythm too. They really miss their friends more than anything. But I was thinking yesterday, like when I was their age, I would have loved to have been homeschooled for basically a year. I mean, that we're going to have them for a year.
That's really, and firstly, yeah, good on you both. I can see you obviously following you both on social media, and I love you both. That I see you guys are co-parenting very, very well. So good on you, because it's obviously, it's not the easiest thing to adjust to, which I have adjusted as well. I've been there. So well done. I think the kids seem like they're obviously understanding what's going on, and I feel like they're comfortable, and you guys are comfortable.
Well, we're not, you know, like, as I said, we're in very, very uncharted territory. It's not like, you know, normally when you get separated, you wouldn't pop over to each other's houses so much and hang out and all this. But like, we are now, we are still a family. So even if we're not together, you know, he comes over, swims, you know, has dinner one night, even if, or, you know, I have dinner there. So it's just, you know, chill, but we're very friendly, but that doesn't mean that we're all getting back together.
Oh, no. So yeah, you know what? Same with me. Like I've been working so hard, I realized over the last 12 years, like really hard. This is the first time in 12 years that I'm not working all the time. And I found myself over the last couple of weeks, I was raking leaves in the garden. I haven't done that like ever.
I go jogging every morning.
Isn't it nice? Like it's nice to be able to do things. And I think the time that we're having with our children is something that we will never get again. Like this is we're inseparable. We're always hanging out. Like, you know, and I'm looking at this. I feel like we're on a bit of a holiday, even though I'm still working and doing what I got to do. I'm spending so much, like we just spent 3 hours in the pool together. You know what I mean? And then we did a little bit of homework. And then tonight we're going to cook together. And I'm like, I'm trying to find the benefits and I'm trying to find the positives in everything that's going on right now. I think like everyone's a little bit anxious. We're all a bit fearful. We're all a little bit like, OMG, what's going on? So, you know, living at home and staying at home, I think is so many people are complaining about it and like, I don't know, chucking tantrums about having to do it. But I think we're doing it for our safety, our own safety, you know?
I feel really lucky. I feel very blessed. I'm not moaning. I mean, obviously it's scary times because I don't know what the world looks out like the other side. You know, which of my brands will survive, which ones I'll still be working for, if I'll still be working. But, you know, I also am a super positive person. I really feel this has happened for a reason, that we needed to rebalance everything. And, you know, even yourself, you worked, as far as I was concerned, too hard. You know, you're one person. I'm enjoying the extra sleep. I'm enjoying the time. It's going to be hard to go back to that grind, that sort of rat race. And I don't know if I want to, so full on, you know, but as it happens, as you said, you know, we're in the entertainment industry. I'm up for 2 things at the moment. If you know, one of them's been signed, apparently, who knows what it looks like the other side. So if I don't know if I can do that anymore, if I can film, or whether I could get over there, or how it works, I have no clue. But I'm not really worried. If this is my worst day, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, good work. I agree. I just want, obviously, the economy and everything not to be, you know, the hardest thing for me is seeing friends taking pay cuts, losing their jobs. I mean, we took pay cuts. We've already had pay cuts at our company here, right, across the entire board. And, you know, it's expected. But, you know, I just want to make sure that I think you're right. I think it's a bit of a wake-up call, and I'm hoping that obviously, we get through this pretty quickly. I just keep watching the news and it's depressing. I'm trying not to watch the news as much anymore, but I think we'll get through this and I think we will all come up. I was saying the other day on the radio show, and I was saying it to a friend, I said, it's like we're living in a sci-fi movie. It's like we're going to be saying, oh yeah, that was before the virus. Do you remember before the virus? Yeah. We're going to be saying that.
What's that movie, Contagion?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that was one of my favorite movies that I watched about 5 years ago. Like, I remember that movie when I watched it, and I used to love it, but I never thought that it
living it.
Could come. Yeah,
we're living it. But I mean, you know, that's the thing. I mean, pay cuts and things like that. That's still a great. I have so many friends of mine who've lost their jobs. You know, like my poor brother has like gyms. He's got gyms. He had to lay off 200 people, 285 people. You can't go to a gym. It's terrible. So all of these kinds of things. So like, if, you know, I think people are understanding of pay cuts. All my brands have put me on hold. You know, no one's paying me. But I mean, again, I'm in a very fortunate position. I can just sit here. As long as I sit here and don't spend anything, I'm good. You know what I mean? So
no, I hear you.
I'm not. It's not like I'm sitting here being paid shitloads of money and with my feet up. I'm not. But I'm okay too. I'm happy.
What about let's talk about the maintenance. You, Mr. Caroline Stanbury, would be at Cosmosurge at least 3 times a week, getting something done, be it
all right, what looks like it's fallen?
No, I don't think anything looks like it's fallen. No, the only thing is,
I'll show you the boobs.
The root of the hair, has that come through?
Yes.
Is it grey?
Well, it's grey-ish, yeah.
So what? Your hair if you weren't to touch it, would go
Chris,
completely.
this is
It's
like
platinum. It's
platinum
platinum.
blonde. It's
It's
called
chic.
platinum. It's very chic.
Look at Melissa coming in to say it's platinum.
I'm well trained.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
So have you tried-
I
have you
actually
tried
called
to
my hairdresser this morning and said, "Can you teach me how to do it myself? Because I've got the stuff here." And he's like, "Oh God, I wouldn't do that." So anyway, I have this powder upstairs that can paint it yellow, but I'm not very good at it. And I'm just and I'm ordering this spray that everyone told me to get to spray it. But then I'm like, who am I
Well,
seeing anyway?
Exactly. You
I'm
look great.
dyeing my eyebrows.
So how long? I mean, let's say that we're this for the next 3 months. I mean, what will you do?
I'm going to order a can of spray.
You know, I had to learn. Everyone's doing the same thing. I went onto YouTube, and I YouTube how to do a fade. Do you know what a fade is on your hair?
Oh, the bit where it graduates down.
Yeah. So you start off like skin here, and then you change the clippers. You go higher. Then, man, it was
not
hard.
the same for a man. It's not the same for the man. The worst that happens is you shave it off. For a woman, this is everything. I mean, it was so
Yeah, but hold on.
actually. I'm being paid by a brand, a hair brand, who were like, they sent me a picture of how they want me to look, you know, like hair gummy things. So funny. It's so, you know, and they're like, and it was the picture from Malem, you know, and I'm like, do you understand how many people it took to get me to look like that? I just learned, I did my first ever blow dry yesterday. You think she goes, your hair looks so good. And I'm like, and a team of people. I've got one $30 blow dryer that I found on Amazon that I've used now myself twice. And if you think my hair is going to look like that for this photo, it's hilarious. But it's the only brand offering to pay me right now, so I better do it.
You'll take it. But I mean, who did you nail? The nails look all right.
Yeah, the nails I managed to get just in before all this kicked off, and they're gel, so they don't chip.
So are you fearful at all? I mean, are you scared? You know me. You know, I'm borderline hypochondriac, so this sort of stuff, you know, gets to me.
You're not borderline anything. You are. Yeah, you're way over that line. I'm not scared of anything, nor should you be. This is more precaution so it stops spreading. You're a healthy man. You're fine. It's going to take more than this to knock you over. I know a lot of people that have had it. Obviously, there are different strains of it. And, you know, for people with underlying issues, young children, babies, things like this, it's not great. But more of the issue is really not having enough ventilators, not having enough nurses, not having people to take care of them. Or the people that are dying are other people that, you know, have had other problems that can't get into the hospitals because the hospitals are full. So this is what it is. It's a rotten circle, really. And it just keeps spreading in old people. Old people are really susceptible. So, I mean, we're all going to get it at some point. You know, my husband had it.
Man, I didn't know you wanted to talk about that. I know that he had it. And he was like, I mean, he was in hospital. I was speaking to him. So he was in hospital for how long?
2 weeks in one room. So he was one of the first that got it here. I mean, he was the only one in his hospital. I don't know at the time. But they, you know, obviously they kept him in quarantine there, which is normal. And that's what, you know, was the right thing to do. But, you know, you have 3 or 4 horrible days, and then you're normal again. And it's just an awful thing, quarantine, because if you're stuck, it's much nicer now. We all get quarantined in our own homes. But, you know, to be quarantined in hospital where you can't get out and you can't speak to people and only people in hazmat suits are visiting you, it's very lonely.
Yeah, I know. When I spoke to Jim, I said to him, "How was it?" He says, he told me he said the worst was a couple that he had a bad temperature, obviously about a 41-degree temperature for a couple of days, which wouldn't go away, and then it finally went away. But then he said he got bronchitis. Thankfully, it didn't go any more than that. So, you know, you see, if my fear is that if you do get it, and now you're just sitting with it, trying to work out how hard is it going to hit you.
No, but you're a warrior. You know, you go worst case. You know, you're dead before you've even got the cough. You know, but I'm not. I always think in terms of like, it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Look, in Dubai, we are, as I said, you go into the supermarket. all the food's there, everything's there. We're so set up and so lucky. When I see what's going on in Spain and Italy and all these other countries that are just collapsing, and it's, you know, it's going to take years to get out of this economy and this mess and like everything that's going on. It's so sad because more people have died from other viruses too, or other, you know, diseases, and they haven't closed the entire economy. But you're right, we're so unprepared to deal with the pandemic. I don't know what is the right and wrong thing to do.
Well, the right thing to do is to stay at home and not to spread it to other people. The biggest thing about
but even doing that, Chris,
is that it is, you can take symptoms. What's that?
Even if it's staying home, people aren't able to work, which is the same thing. It's still crippling the economy. You know, we are blessed positions where maybe you have some savings, or maybe you've been paid, or maybe the house is paid, so all you need to do is afford your food, right? But some people can't do that.
No, I know. I'm blessed. I go to bed every night and I tell the kids how blessed we are. I said we're in an okay position. We have money, we have savings. The house that we live in has been paid. You know, and I'm explaining to the girls, because I'm getting messages more than 50, 60 a day of people saying they don't have money. They don't know what to do. They're not getting income. They've got bills to pay. They need food on their table. Okay. So it's an unfortunate position. It's like that chicken and the egg. What do? We don't want to let everyone out on the streets right now. At the same time, we're hoping that this will settle down over the next couple of months. But all I know is that to stay inside right now, let this settle, and then we can hopefully get back onto it and get back into what we were doing and have the normality of life that we know it. And, you know, everyone gets back to work slowly. I know. Did you get tested?
We all did, yeah.
How was that? They say that when they shoved it up your nose?
Aaron screamed blue murder. The rest were fine. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's nothing bad. All the staff did too.
And thankfully, that was because Jem traveled a lot, didn't he? So he got it that way.
No, I traveled too. It was just bad luck. Apparently, men get it more. Like 70% of the cases are men. Don't know if women aren't women aren't getting it as much. But yeah, he'd just come back from London. I wasn't in the house because I'd left on my business trip by the time he'd gone. We were crossing over. So that's my pool making a horrible noise. Train. So it's crossing over. So I hadn't seen him, luckily, so I didn't get it. And by the time he came back, he went straight into quarantine, and then I landed.
Were you worried? Obviously, now you guys are separated, but what's the feelings like?
I wasn't worried then at all, because I mean, I had been told by so many people it was just a bad flu. Now we understand it's actually worse than a bad flu, and they underestimated it, definitely. But at that point, I was like, you know, also I always feel men do sort of milk this stuff. You know, women, we have childbirth, we go to work, we do all these things, we're busy, you know, we're used to pain, we do things. And boys, you know, you get a snivel and you're dying, and you can relate. So I didn't have a lot of sympathy. I probably should have had more. I'm probably not the best person around sick men.
Good to know. So if there's anything ever wrong with me, I don't come to you for any sympathy or help.
I wouldn't listen to you. See, I couldn't take you seriously. You're like the boy who cried wolf. I wouldn't know if it was you were really in pain. I saw the trick that you did to your daughters the other day and pretending to break your leg. And I know how you are. Like the first day I said, I'll pop over, and my husband had been in quarantine for 2 weeks and my kids have been tested. And I said, I'd come over to your house to do a podcast. You pretty much slam the door, slam the this. You're not coming anywhere in my house. So,
100%. 100%.
I'm coming over to kiss the cuddle, Chris.
You didn't even tell me. I had to find out through someone else, you little
coming for a kiss and cuddle.
Yeah, I know. How horrible. So, you know, I'm thinking the same thing. We have never, ever in our lifetime lived to what we're living like right now. And they say that it doesn't usually happen in someone's lifetime. It may happen once. I think this is our one time, hopefully, hopefully. Are how are your kids handling it? They're obviously...
Story. It's so, I mean, the kids are fortunately are oblivious, really, because they don't watch the news like we do. You know, for them, it's just like, why can't we go and see our friends? My daughter's like, throughout, you know, cleaning out her room. She's like, oh, you know, I need some new clothes. And I'm like, first of all, mummy's not been paid for a few months. And second of all, you're not buying any new clothes. And third of all, we're not going anywhere. So get used to wearing a tracksuit. I've even stopped myself. I look at my stuff, my new stuff, and I'm like, oh, Melissa, new season. And then I'm like, hang on a minute, where am I going? I'm not actually going nowhere but my living room. So it's like, the only thing I'm buying is tracksuits to train in.
Good.
I'm going around the house, like, you know, since Jem moved out, I've been trying to like sort of like shuffle it around and give it my look, more me. And so I've been doing that. But no, I feel bad for the stores too. I can't even imagine. My girlfriend's a fashion designer in New York, and she said she's had $3 million worth of cancelled orders.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, even the snack company that I own, you know, we've taken. I mean, sales have actually gone up for us over the last month because people are buying online and storing snacks and making sure they've got their cupboards full. But I had a couple of big deals in the works with some really big people where orders had been placed and everything was going through. And then, you know, because of the times, you know, they've had to cancel it. So it's not good, obviously, on businesses. But, you know, what it is, how long can you last like this? You think you can last like this for how long?
I mean, I'm thinking that we are not leaving Dubai till August, September.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't even know if that's going to happen. We were going to Sydney, the whole family, for our summer holidays here. We were going to go to Sydney. My brother is christening the baby. I was the godfather. We booked it all in, and I've just told him now that's July. I said that's probably off the cards. But now with Brianna and I organising our wedding for December. I mean, we had 350 people have been invited to this wedding. We were just about to book.
350 people have been invited.
You've been invited.
Well, I don't have the invitation.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not. No, Melissa's saying no, I do not.
As you looked at Melissa, you've 100% been invited.
Well, I'm don't have the invitation.
Well, I can find out, but I know you're on the list.
Well, let's be on the list.
Yeah, anyway, so we've invited that many people, and...
You forgot his cousins.
What?
You forgot his cousins. How can you get married without me?
You, of course you're coming. You're in, you, actually, I put you in there. I put the whole family. I did the list when you were married.
You can still come. I can't honestly see that that's happening either, to be honest, sadly.
I know. And, you know, Brianna said, let's say that everything does settle down. She's like, I don't like 2020. I said, she goes, first we kicked it off with the Australian bushfires, which affected Australia, my home. Then Kobe passed away. Then you've got this coronavirus. She's like, 2020 just seems like blah. And I said, yeah, but we could finish it off. Like, we could finish it off in a good way, you know, with something positive in December. But
I'm with Brianna. I think we've taken I'm with Brianna. I think we've taken such a beating. Why don't you start 21? Like, can't you do it in January?
Yeah, well, we're thinking, and again, we're thinking out loud. We don't know. We have no idea. We said we'll make a final decision in 5 weeks. We'll give it 5 weeks. See where the world is. Let's see in 5 weeks if something remarkable has happened and everything settles down. And if not, we'll come up with Plan B. But Plan B may be
you'll get a great deal, and you probably rent an island for yourselves.
You know what I was thinking? We were thinking, because it's been a hard year for a lot of people with, you know, money wise, getting a lot of her friends and family to fly from LA and the States to Dubai, getting mine to go from Australia. Everyone's had to be forced to take their holidays already. Like my brother and most of my family, they're all taking their 5 weeks off now that have been forced to do it. So I'm thinking possibly, and she liked the idea of Hawaii. It's sort of in between Sydney and LA. You know, it's cheaper for everyone to go out, you know, and we could probably just go do, you know, a nice ceremony in Hawaii. We're not sure. We're tossing it up. You know, we've bought the wedding dress. We bought that wedding dress last year. It needs to be used, you know.
Of course it's going to be used. Just, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think, you know, it's just to be prepared so you don't lose money, that everybody can get there, that everybody's recovering because of all the money they will have lost. You're absolutely right. Those flights are going to be expensive for anybody at this point. And everyone's, you know, anyone that does have any money left is burning through their savings. So it is, you know, we're all sat here happy but slowly going broke.
Yeah, we have our health.
What?
We have our health.
I said I'm not unhappy, and I'm definitely not moaning. It could be way, way, way worse. So, and I think it's very interesting, and I think the universe is definitely telling us something. What it is.
Agreed.
You know.
I agree. Well, guys, if you're watching this wherever you're watching it, I know this is it's an unusual way, but this is, I think, how podcasts and a lot of entertainment is happening. All the CNN, BBC, Sky News, they're all doing it from their homes. So, you know, we decided to jump on board and do it. Follow us. Please send us DMs on how you're feeling. Go to Chris and Caroline on Instagram and tell us how you're feeling, and we'll continue doing these podcasts and, you know, get it all done. But until then, Caroline.
Topics, any fun topics anyone wants to talk about. I know a lot of people have been asking me about co-parenting in these times because it is weird. You know, the normal rules go out the window. We can talk about, you know, hacks for looking okay. What else? Any topics that you want us to discuss, send them in because it really helps. It's really fun. I love following because I've been doing it a lot on my Instagram Live, and people are really enjoying it.
All right, well, let's do it. Yeah, send us everything. Just send us whatever you can. What are you cooking? Everyone seems to be cooking these days and training at home. So get it all in. And yeah, I miss you.
Lucky. I have to give him back, but I've taken one of Joey's chefs.
What do you mean? Tell me. What have you done?
I've got one of Joey's sushi, you know, little chefs or the helpers from one of his restaurants. Chris, there's 9 of us in this house.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. I'll lecture you after this podcast is over.
Bye.
Bye, followers. Miss you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
It's Chris Fade and Caroline Stanbury's Not So Epic podcast.
Brought to you by NMC Healthcare and Cosmesurge. Head to cosmesurge.com.